I'm Lily Ziehmer, Technical Service Manager with FMC here in Nebraska and Colorado.
Gail Stratman, I'm the Regional Technical Manager here with FMC across the Midwest and the Northern Plains.
So here in York, Nebraska today, we're just here to showcase just some of the weed problems that farmers are dealing with and the different weed spectrum that we're seeing, as well as talk solutions for farmers here in the state of Nebraska.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of weedy fields out there, and a lot of growers are really upset with the weed control they got. But when you see how bad it could be when you don't use a herbicide, a lot of times when we go to fields and we see maybe a grower isn't quite as happy with the weed control we got, you really got to take a step back and go, what would it be like if we had no weed control at all? Because this is where you really see the value of weed control measures and herbicide programs, is when you see how bad it can be where you essentially have no crop and the weeds essentially take over.
Yeah, Gail, this is a prime example of non-chemical weed control here in Nebraska. Let's take a look at some other treatments.
So here I'm standing in front of a herbicide plot where we've got Authority Supreme, and then we followed it with a typical post program of Enlist and Liberty. And while there's some weeds back here, when you compare this to the untreated check, we're at 99+% weed control. And of course, our goal should always be to be 100% control, but this really reiterates the power and the reliance we need to have on our pre-programs. And so dialing in that pre-herbicide program is really important. And we're, Authority Supreme and Authority Edge are two of our leading performing products, and we really want to focus on those when we're trying to manage difficult pigweed populations. So here we got an example of overlapping residuals. Really did an excellent job on the pigweeds and the water hemp and the palmer pigweed in this situation. You can see the untreated here off to my right. But we do see a few grasses here. We didn't include Roundup in this because we were really looking at the broadleaf weed control, the overlapping residual, and the power of that. And you can really see what combining that Authority Supreme application down, followed by that Anthem MAXX, the strength and the residual performance we can get on our pigweed populations.
So Gail, we've talked about some really effective management practices and programs for farmers here in Nebraska, but we look behind us and we see an outstandingly clean field with only one pre-emerge program. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, as the sign says, this is coming soon. As we continue to invest in new products and new solutions for growers, this is something FMC is exploring in our pipeline that we're looking forward and excited to be able to bring towards growers in the future years. And we're not going to have this available in the short term here in the next year or two, but definitely something to look down the road. But this is a combination pre-emergence only program, and you can see the outstanding weed control we see behind it. Very excited about what the FMC future holds and really what we can bring for new tools for farmers across Nebraska and the Midwest in the future.
Yeah, Gail, we have some key industry programs out here, but to see just what good of a job this is doing in comparison to those gets us really excited.
We're always looking for new tools. The more solutions we have in the toolbox, the better we can do to both manage weeds, insects, diseases. This is just an example of FMC's investment in the future, starting to come forward and bring some products into the pipeline and into their toolbox in the coming years.